So there's a new phenomenon that's been going on recently. And honestly, we've been here for a while because this is probably the second generation of kids that were raised by video vixens, influencers. You get where I'm going here. It's starting to be a real interesting time because what everybody warned these women about is starting to happen with some adults, especially boys that are going through coming to terms with having a mother that is known, let's just say. And I think it's going very dark very quickly. And it's playing out on TikTok as we speak.
But I remember when I was little, my mom, she used to be like a video vixen or whatever. She used to like date rappers. Whole time she was just getting on by these niggas. They wasn't even really dating her because they never claimed her.
Wow.
She used to go backstage and stuff like that. I remember we walked through this long ass venue. It was a bunch of people on stage doing concerts and stuff like that. We walked all the way to the back, and I guess it was like Ludacris backstage where she was dating Ludacris at the time.
Oh no.
We go back there, she see the nigga, and then we leave. And then it was the same situation where she was dating T.I. We went to Cascade for King's birthday. We went to the back to see King open his presents and stuff like that, and then we left. She didn't even buy us skates or nothing. And what's crazy is T.I. bought out the venue. We could have got skates for free. It's just the fact that she was showing us off like a purse because she looked so young that she had to prove to the niggas that she was fucking, that she had kids so she could get more money out the niggas, and she wasn't even helping us with the money.
Man.
Wasn't even paying bills or nothing like that with the money because my stepdad was paying the bills, but he wasn't staying with my mom.
Hold up. Did you just hear what he said? His stepdad was actually paying the bills, and she was dating Ludacris and T.I.? I thought they didn't even get along with each other. But that is crazy. That might have been part of the reason they were beefing so hard back then. About 20-some years ago, if I'm guessing by his age. This is a shame, man.
Like my stepdad was paying the bills, but he wasn't staying with my mom because she would force him to stay with his mom or stay wherever he was staying because she didn't want him staying in the house so she could fuck other niggas. Really,
wow.
She was cheating on him with my dad while my dad was cheating on my stepmom. And then he would drive all the way 12 hours to come fuck my mom and then be bullshit and stuff like that where they was emailing back and forth and shit talking about they was finna get married and my stepmom caught their goofy ass. And then they ended up having to fall out and stuff like that because of my stepmom because he had to get his shit together. Whole time she's still doing this shit back and forth with these rappers and stuff like that behind my stepdad back while he paying her bills. And she leaving, doing red carpet events and shit like that. I don't know what the she was explaining to him, but we was at the house by ourselves where he couldn't come watch us and shit like that because she didn't know, she didn't want him to know what he was, what she had going on. So we would literally be at the house by ourselves. Me, my brother, and my sister just sitting in her bed crying, waiting for her to get home. And this on planes, going across the country, doing red carpet events, meeting up with Gucci Mane and T.I. and all these people where I remember at one point in her life, she was just a fucking threesome for T.I. and Tiny where she was going out her way to get fucked on by these niggas. And then she had Bow Wow friend, Cleo, the nigga from Hoes, Zero. He had took me to Chick-fil-A and gave me a Chick-fil-A sandwich and shit like that, told me that I need to be a better kid for my mom because she trying so hard. No, the fuck she not. This bitch is giving out coochie. That's all she was doing. That bitch wasn't doing shit for her kids. That was going out her way to have fun and give out coochie to niggas so she could have money and have all this shit because she was pretty. And then I remember it was a time where he
is dicing his mother right now. This is serious. He might need some actual counseling or some therapy on this because he's just going crazy. He's just coming to TikTok with this, but he obviously needs to get this off his chest in a more professional environment. But since we're here, let's take a listen and see if we can maybe offer some advice to the young man. But this is kind of crazy. He's telling it all. And when they say kids don't understand what's going on before a certain age, they're seeing everything. They're sponges. I swear, they can feel it energetically if they are being neglected, if they're being left in the house by themselves while you out there at the Lil Wayne concert.
Brought us around Gorilla Zone and shit like that and was trying to introduce us to this nigga and we didn't know who he was. So she had to apologize to the nigga because she felt bad that we didn't know who the fuck he was. I'm like, nobody give a fuck. We need our mom. We want you to take care of us. What's wrong with you?
And that's crazy too. You know, like when you see a chick and she has a kid and like you have a conversation with her, like you could almost see the boys being like, hey, stop talking to my mama. You know what I mean? Like, please stop talking to my mama. This is the adult version of that. He is now a grown man and can articulate himself and say exactly how he felt in that moment. And that's why I'm saying, ladies, you have to take note of this because this could be you. And it's going to get even worse because of the OF and all the fan sites. This generation that's coming, their mothers is straight up S workers. I mean, like, on camera. Talk about going into school and getting made fun of because your mother's tape was found. Your mother's tape got leaked. Wow. I wonder who his mother is.
Bro, y'all keep asking me about my mom and shit, so I'm finna tell y'all more stories. Man, it's too many of them, so I'm finna just start off with one of them hoes. All right, I remember one day I was sleeping. I was scared of the dark when I was little, so I was sleeping in my sister's room. I ended up getting my ass whooped out my sleep where
Damn.
I just woke up and my mom was hitting me. And then she dragged me down 2 flights of stairs. And then she dragged me past the front door into the hallway by the laundry room. She picked me up by my neck and my feet was off the ground. My head was touching the wall. She was choking me out until I couldn't breathe.
Wow.
And then she dropped me and told me that I needed to do my chores, talking about why is there dishes in the sink and why is there laundry in the laundry room. I think I was like 5 or 6 years old or something like that. I didn't even know how to do laundry. She never even taught us how to do laundry. Mind you, we never even learned manners and shit until I went to my stepmom house. Like, we was just chewing with our mouth open, putting our elbows on the table, doing stuff like that. We're like, I remember my stepmom even taught us when we get out the shower to step on the towel so that we don't get the floor wet and shit, because we just used to leave the floor wet and she got tired of that shit. But I remember I just sat there all night crying because I didn't know how to do laundry. So I just sat there folding the laundry after I got done doing the dishes, and my mom just went to sleep and then woke up in the morning and acted like everything was normal. And I just had to deal with that shit. There was nothing that I could do. I couldn't go back to sleep. I couldn't get up and go to my room because I feel like if she would have heard me walk up the stairs, she would have choked me again. But
choke slamming your children. Now, I'm not saying this is exclusive to video vixens or influencer women, but that narcissism, those disorders that have people not prioritizing what they need to prioritize. The fact that she chose to have these children and then instead of actually taking care of them and teaching them home training, they out here acting like wild children because they don't know any better. This is really sad, man. And you know he's got a bunch of unhealed wounds that are going on because of it. These are the impacts. This is where you get, all the men that women complain about is coming from deep trauma like this, where you were just neglected so some rapper could get his. Damn.
yeah, the reason why I know all this information about my mom is because she told us. She literally sat us in the bed and was crying and shit like that over the emails that my dad sent and her sent to each other when they was cheating on they significant others, where she literally told us the situation, and then I had to live through it where we was going through court and shit like that because she sent me back to my dad's house and my stepmom was abusing me because of what my mom did to her. And she resented my mom and shit like that, where she was a good stepmom at first, but then my mom pissed her off, so she started abusing me and putting me in situations where she thought since I was on my mom's team and shit like that, she told my dad that I couldn't have a house key and I couldn't eat at her house. So I had to stay with other people like my friends and stuff like that. Or I would go to her mom's house, my granny house, and I would just be over there with her brothers and her sisters and stuff. And that's where I would stay most of my time. Sometimes I stayed over there so long, I would get ready for school and go to school from their house. Yeah. But it was a situation where we was all in the bed. She pulled the laptop out and she was showing us the emails that she sent back and forth with my dad that my stepmom read of them cheating with each other, where my dad would drive all the way from Michigan to Georgia to my mom, knowing that she was with my stepdad and he was her in his house and he had a bitch back at home. And it was a situation where he didn't even know that she was with all these rappers and stuff. She was telling my dad that they was finna get married and all of this, but she's a bum. So my dad knew that shit was never finna happen because how.
And isn't that most men's nightmare? You got that pretty chick that you want to invest in. You trying to get things together. You trying to save up your money to build a life with her, and she's in Atlanta letting Ludacris hit. Shout out to Ludacris. There ain't nothing wrong with Ludacris. Ludacris, you was playing your part. So was T.I. And Tiny, I guess. But this is crazy. It's all gonna come out in the wash.
We finna get married if you getting taken care of by other niggas. And he know how she is. So it was a situation where because he was getting taken care of by my stepmom and she was getting taken care of by my stepdad,
damn,
they both was in situations where they couldn't.
Pops wasn't on shit either. And you know, this is why when a lot of people are like, oh, you should have a bunch of kids. Well, you ain't taking care of the kids that you got. If people want to be responsible about having children and being in a better place to actually potentially take care of them, you know, nothing's promised, obviously. Nobody's perfect. Why would you fault them for that? Why would you fault them for being cautious and not putting somebody in this position as an adult? And now they got to tell everything. They sat up there and listened to their mother's emails about cheating on people.
Take care of themselves, so they knew they wasn't finna get married, so they was just gonna keep fucking on each other. If they wouldn't have got caught, this shit would have continued to happen. I remember my dad would bring my cousin all the way down from, all the way down from Michigan and shit like that, where he would be playing with us and stuff like that, while my dad was in the room with my mom. And then we thought it was just family time and stuff like that. We thought, oh, it's cool because, you know, my cousins is here, you know, we get to have fun and shit like that, and we get to see our dad. No, that nigga was in there with my mom and sleeping at our house, and then he would leave in the morning so that my stepdad wouldn't catch him. That's why she tell us everything.
Oh, I forgot the stepdad is still there. They both got up. Y'all are the worst. Damn. And he has all the information.
Everything that I've ever known and shit like that is because she told us, because she act like her kids is her friends and shit like that. This the same bitch who, when we was younger, she pulled out a Polaroid picture and showed us a picture of her stripping on the pole, booty ass naked. Told us, oh yeah, things ain't as easy as they seem.
What?
Do this paint a good enough picture for the bitch that I had to be raised by? Because really, I wasn't even raised. She kicked me out when I was about 9 years old. So I really raised myself because my stepmom had me out on the streets. That's why I was out robbing niggas and stealing niggas shit and like toting guns and shit like that.
What did I tell you? That is exactly what that breeds. This type of senseless behavior and neglect breeds exactly that. That the man you're complaining about, he out there robbing people, having guns. He's the YN of your nightmares. And he's wholly a creation. Well, he's a creation of both of his parents, obviously. I'm glad he's at least conscious enough of that fact. He's probably left that life behind at this point, I'm hoping. If not, let this be your wake-up call. It's getting this out in the open in probably your mother's favorite mediums, because she loves attention as a former stripper. This embarrassment should actually be enough of now we're even for you to move on with your life, young man. Damn.
Since I was 11 years old.
And this is him telling a story about his mother sleeping with Rick Ross. Now she pretty much hit the top tier for the 2010s, the mid 2000s to the 2010s. She done got Ludacris out the way, T.I. out the way, and now Rick Ross.
Ross house. You want to tell me how
So this is a picture of his mother right here. And she looks vaguely familiar. I can't think of what videos she's been in.
You want me to tell y'all how my mom know Rick Ross and how she know Yanti?
Oh.
Shut your dumb ass up, you stupid black.
Oh yeah, Yanti is Rick Ross's baby mom's, and also now an influencer on her own. Interesting. Let's see how she knows him. Oh boy.
Y'all all stupid as talking about what I got going on. You don't know me. I'm literally married. Yes, she know Tia. She know Yanti. So my mom had a friend. She ended up going over Rick Ross' house when she was on Rick Ross, and she brought her son over there, and they started squatting in Rick Ross' house. She went on her way to do certain things and shit like that based on her going on her way to put herself in a situation where she felt like because Rick Ross had money, she needed to stick by him. But then she brought her son into her. No, my mom ain't been to Diddy house. Into Rick Ross mansion and shit like that, and went on her way to squat in his house and shit because
Damn.
she thought, well, you just gonna have to get me evicted and stuff. And because he ended up fucking the bitch, she went on her way to put herself in a situation where she was like, well, you gonna take care of me and stuff like that. You gonna do what I need you to do to make sure you take care of my kid because you
Damn.
me.
After squatting in his house? Jesus. This is a mess, man.
So she was at Rick Ross' house, and she was stuck basically in there until he got her evicted and got the police called on her for her to go out her way to get taken care of by Rick Ross. How would I make this shit up? How would I make this shit up? All of these people was in Atlanta.
So Tia Kemp is actually in the comments on this. The first comment you see says, "Hey, little boy, I don't know you or your mama. Keep me out this ass. This sounds personal." This definitely is personal. Definitely is personal. Now we're going to hear a little bit. There's so many of these videos, man. It's just really heartbreaking. But there's so many of these videos from this guy's perspective. Now let's hear a little bit what his mother had to say.
Stories about no hoeing because there wasn't no hoeing going on around this ass nigga. Matter of fact, I tried to get in 2 relationships only, and they had nothing to do with no celebrities.
So this
and
is the mother.
By the way, celebrities asked me to marry them. Celebrity asked me to be their women. Celebrities and wealthy men, millionaires and billionaires wanted me. But a lot of them did not want my children. They didn't want my kids around.
When a lion comes into a pride and takes over, he immediately wants to kill the cubs of the other male lion. This is crazy that she's this animated about this and this public about it. Obviously, she's embarrassed. She should be. But I don't think this is the response. She needs to be talking to her son, if anything.
And I would never send my kids to their dad or drop them off or permanently get rid of them just because a nigga said so. A nigga bought me an island, had $1 million for me, and was ready to marry me if I sent them niggas back up to their dads and left them there permanently.
But this is a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda been. This is a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda been right now. They always talk about the women, oh, I was engaged to be married 5 times. Now, what did you actually get?
And I said no. I went and got my babies. An island. I still have the pictures of that island. Only got to go to it once. An island. Do you hear me?
You still own it?
So I had the pick of the litter. I had billionaires. I had millionaires. I had anybody that I could want. I didn't want them. I was focused on raising my kids and not having a bunch of men around my children. That's why my son can't give y'all direct stories about no hoeing, because there wasn't no hoeing going on around this ass nigga.
Wow. That's what
y'all don't understand. These stories are exaggerated and made up.
Really?
He's heard some things through the grapevine. Some people from Michigan told him this and that, and they was lying because they didn't know the fucking tea. So he's taking rumors. He's heard shit in his dad's house. He's heard what people thought was going on with me, and he's trying to make it be something that is not. But we ain't got to the big thing here. My son got put out of my house for a reason. He was a threat to the people around him. He was a problem. I almost took my kid off this planet over this shit that he did, and it changed the course of our life.
Okay, so he got put out at 12 for threatening one of his siblings. I'm guessing.
That and my daughter's kidnapping were the 2 things that are most traumatic things I ever experienced as a mother. I thought my kids lying on me, telling me they hate me, telling folks I didn't feed them, telling folks I didn't, all this shit they did. They've been doing this shit since they was 2, bruh. All this shit they've been doing. But I didn't think this would be like this.
There's just so many of these. I mean, check out his page if you want to see some more. Iputson is his name. Original video right here in the corner is at 3.6 million views. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. He's known for his story times, but I guess his biggest story here is his life, and that's crazy. But anyway, man, he's got a lot of unresolved issues to deal with. Young man, seek some therapy. Get some help, talk to somebody, because you've obviously had a lot of trauma in your life that has led you to this place. And it's good to get it off your chest. It's good to get clout off it. Obviously, I think you have a career in music and other things. You might want to clear your conscience completely. And then also, have conversations with your parents. both your mother and your father, because from what you're saying here, it seems like there was some fault on both sides. And though the mother is getting the brunt of it because of maybe being the primary custodial parent, you have to come to terms with that for yourself so that you can grow and become the man you're supposed to be. And so that you can treat your children in a different way than you were treated. I got confidence. A lot of people can heal from this type of thing. A lot of people come from broken homes, actual broken homes, not the Cheyenne Bryant type broken home or the internet popular term broken home that a lot of people like to throw around without any real concrete evidence. This could be called a broken home here. And I've seen men that have come from environments exactly like this, and they give their children the world. It's like nothing ever happened, and they treat their children with the respect and love that they never received. And I think it's important for you to be whole in this, be healed from all this drama, and don't allow it to hold you back, and don't allow it to let you harbor hate for your mother or other women or your father or other men. Anyway, that was a deep one.